So that was Rota by Femme. So I keep on saying it wrong. Femme Fatene by Femme
Femme
Fatene
Fatene.
by Femme
Yes.
Fatene on Pi Radio. The song is available to stream on all platforms, and we've got a video coming next week. So keep an eye out for that. Actually, now you've explained it as well. Like I can definitely hear how it's a lot more of like a sad song rather than being obviously happy or in love or anything like that. Um, so on the topic of the fact that you use Spanish and English in both your songs, I'm assuming that you obviously coming from Spain, that Spanish is your native language, basically the one that you go to more than English. So how is it like incorporating both Spanish and English into your songs?
Okay, so this is a good question, but because I think like it's for us it's like natural, because at the end of the day, English is the most spoken language in all over the world. So in terms of music creation, it's very normal to see Spanish artists mixing Spanish and English.
Mm.
It comes like even natural. I even sing better in English than speaking. I'm better singing in English than speaking.
That's really
Oh,
interesting.
this is because all the music that we used to listen is in English. So at the end, we are used to it when it comes to sing, you
Mm.
know. But for me, it's very, very important to keep writing in Spanish because I feel art as an expression exercise, isn't it? So
Mm.
at the end, I can express myself better. I can express any kind of emotion better in my mother tongue.
Mm.
So I think like it's very important. Also because when you are creating for an audience or for a public, you have to nourish them. And at the end of the day, Spanish is part of my story.
Mm.
So this is what I can offer to you. So for me, it's very important.
Yeah, for sure. And it's really nice to see that you're not willing to get rid of that, because I know some artists would maybe feel, oh, I'm trying to make a musical career for myself in the UK. I should try and adapt as much as possible and try and fit in. But you're basically doing both. You're trying to embrace both elements of it, which is really nice to see.
Obviously. And I
Hmm.
think I think this is interesting because I really think it's a very good moment for Spanish language.
Oh,
Just
for
because
sure.
I think like there's a global interest
Hmm.
in the Latin culture right now.
Yeah, no,
So
it's been so weird to see that take off over the past few years, in terms of how I think it's been like maybe the past 5 years. This, you're right, in terms of it's more like Latin American countries like Mexico, Puerto Rico, all those ones. There seems to be a very much, because I'm sure that music has existed for way beyond the past 5 years, but for some reason, everyone's heads are suddenly turned towards it, and everyone's like you see in America, all the songs that are in the charts are always
and
that
Latin songs.
yeah, they
Yeah,
at least
yeah.
incorporate it in some way. So why do you think that's happened over in America, but it's not happening here?
Well, it depends because maybe the charts are different in America than in the UK, but I can feel and I can see how a lot of British artists are using Spanish as well in their songs.
Mm.
They don't necessarily need to speak Spanish, but I can feel it because I was on my Instagram just scrolling and I can see like ads from Instagram, and I realized that there's a global interest.
Mm.
And it's true that Latin culture has always been there and has always been very important because of the reggaeton music, for example.
Yeah.
But right now there's a mix of elements like social networks, TikTok, some big artists that they reach the top of the top, like for example Bad Bunny, like for example
Mm.
Rosalia, who is from Spain, Nati
Yeah.
Peluso, Ozuna. It's like there are so many references right now that are on the top. And I think that this is creating like a global interest in Spanish language. Like, for example, who will imagine Travis Scott rapping in Spanish or Billie Eilish singing in Spanish?
Oh yeah,
it's a very good one.
She's done that new song, hasn't she? Is that with Rosalia as well? I think they've
and
done
I think
a song together.
This is gonna be even more important in the future. Yeah,
for sure. So obviously we've talked a bit about why you chose to come to Manchester and what it's been like pursuing a music career in Manchester. I want to ask, obviously you will have been exposed to the Manchester music scene. Do you have any favourites within the Manchester music scene, like anyone that you think, oh, I'm really liking what they're doing at the moment with regards to their music?
Yeah, before coming to Manchester, I already knew about some artists there, and I like them a lot. Like, for example, I Am DDB, or Childs of Theus, DJ Scratch. But it's true, like, as I said, Manchester is a very, very, very cultural city. There are so many musicians. Every single day, I'm discovering new musicians. Like recently, for example, I discovered a guy which I think is Zio, the way that you pronounce it, Zio. Love his music because he's able to sing, able to rap, love his style. I also discovered Ayan Kayami.
Oh yeah,
love her.
She presents on here as well, like on Saturdays.
Yes, she's a presenter there as well. Yeah. Also, Grace Monaco. Those are examples because, as I said, there are so many artists on there, and every single day I'm discovering even more artists. It's true that this past year, hasn't been the best year because there were not concerts, not music venues, but hopefully everything is gonna get back to normal soon, and I can't wait for start going to concerts again, meeting different artists and stuff.
Sure, no, we can definitely dream, and now that we've got everyone's starting getting vaccinated, etc., hopefully it'll be sooner rather than later that we end up back to normal. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Let's see after summer.
Yeah, we'll see. So what has your overall experience been like as a non-UK artist pursuing a career in the UK? Especially, have you faced any sort of barriers, or do you think that it's been fine? Has it been fine? Like, what's it been like?
Okay, so the first barrier, or the most important weakness, I will say, is the language, because communicating is very important in when you are trying to get opportunities or trying to get deals or trying to get concerts. So it's true that language could be a weakness, but I feel like UK is a very open-minded country. There are so many different cultures living in there. So I think like the public or people from the UK, they are used to listen to different styles, listen to different cultures, So at the end of the day, I would say like it's even more easy. It's easier to be a foreign artist in the UK than being a foreign artist in Spain. I mean, obviously, I'm not foreign in Spain, but I can see like there are more opportunities for foreign people in the UK than in Spain,
Sure, no, I definitely can imagine that. So obviously, Brexit has happened or is happening currently. I'm curious, has that affected your ability to work in any type of way, or your ability to travel to the UK to work, or have you not found any issue with that?
I mean, I think COVID has affected more than Brexit to my career right now. But because I really think we are not feeling the consequences yet, you know. But I think it's something that is going to happen. I mean, we are going to feel the consequences of Brexit in the future, like very soon, because obviously this is going to affect to everything, to so many things, like, for example, shippings or visits from our family members, or even if you want to do a concert or something like that. I don't feel it yet. And luckily I got my settled status and everything is right. But I think this is going to affect it's going to affect me as well in the future.
Sure.
As it is going to affect everyone.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So going back to your music, I'm gonna play a track now, Separados. Is that pronouncing it right?
Separados.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is actually one which you have already got a music video out for. And when you were describing before about how you use the colours like purple, pink, etc., that's what my mind came up with it straight away, because I know that one is very you're using like a green screen and you've got all those sorts of colours behind you. So do you want to just tell us a bit about the track and how the music video for that was put together as well?
Yeah. This was a very special track for me, because when you are creating with your friends, the results, in my opinion, are even better, because you can enjoy the creative process more when you are working in confidence. So I made this track with Palestina, who is my friend from Barcelona, from Med Coast Collective. I start creating music with them. I started my project with them, so they are like my family, So I always, when I work with them, I enjoy the process a lot. The story behind the video is very funny, because we plan to create a video in Barcelona with a car, with lots of resources, but then coronavirus came to say, slow down. So finally, I just, I use my resources to shoot this video. So I finally put a camera in my house, in my living room, 2 lights, a green screen, and I shoot the video. The result is kind of lo-fi, but I feel like during this time, all the artists were trying to experiment about how to create with the resources they got in the moment, because, the lockdown and stuff. So I'm very proud that we finally managed to release the track and the video, because it was very, very, very difficult at that moment.
Sure, yeah, I can imagine. So on that note, shall we give it a listen? Do you want to introduce it again?
Sorry?
Shall we give it a listen? Do you want to introduce the track?
Oh, yeah. So this is my track Separados by Palestina and Femme Fatene, and hope you like it.
Yes, that was 19 on Pi Radio. You are listening to Play Out Funky Music, Brown Boy, and I'm joined by the lovely Femme Fatene. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks.
Cool. So obviously we talked a bit about how you've adapted to COVID with regards to you changing your music video idea, but with regards to actually recording music, how has COVID affected that, and how have you adapted to it?
Well, it has been very difficult to record. I get to record sometimes, but I couldn't follow the rhythm I would like to. So I just use this time to keep creating, keep writing, keep, working on the creative side, getting some knowledge, like in marketing, for example, about how to update my digital profiles. But in terms of recording, I only get to the studio, I think, 3 times, because, like the situation, if you don't have a setup in your own house or a home studio or something like that, it's even more difficult with everything closed and stuff. But even so, I think like during this time has been time to create and planning, time for execute will come. I hope as soon as possible. Let's see how it goes. But this time, for at least in my personal opinion, has been for creating and planning more than executing.
Sure. So thinking about that, have you been using this time to like create and plan stuff that we can then expect in the future? Like, have you got anything planned for this year in terms of future releases, etc.?
Yes, like I cannot say too much yet. It's top secret, but I can say like there's a lot of music coming because thanks God, before all this coronavirus situation came, I already got some material prepared to release. So there's a lot of music coming, and hopefully we will get back to normal soon, and we will be able to perform soon again.
Yeah. Again, fingers crossed. Like
Fingers crossed.
this is the thing. Like we had our I don't know if you've seen. We had our roadmap announced earlier this week for how we're going to, as a country, take the next few months with regards to. I think it's a week tomorrow. Schools are reopening, and then in April, non-essential retail is reopening, and then also they're saying the 21st of June. Supposedly everything's going to be back to normal, and everyone's kind of been getting really excited about it and saying, oh, on the 21st of June I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But then I've just been a bit hesitant because I know if the one things we've been taught this year, it's that you can't predict anything, and who knows what's going to happen between now and June, So yeah.
But let's see, because at the end of the day, I think UK has been the country from Europe, not anymore from Europe, but with more lockdowns, since everything happened.
Yeah.
Like at the beginning, you were like waiting to get into the lockdown, but I think this is the third lockdown, no? The third national lockdown.
Yeah.
So hopefully after summer, it's like no more lockdowns, please.
I mean, you would think, but just because we've had lockdowns doesn't mean they've been done well. So,
But there's a vaccine as well. There's a vaccine. Yeah. So fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, so coming to the end of the interview now, we're going to finish with one of your tracks, which I can say from my GCSE Spanish, Solo Bailar, dancing on your own. Yeah?
Dancing on your own.
Yes, I got it right. I still know, like, honestly, because I studied Spanish in school, and since then I've basically forgotten everything. But I read Solo Bailar, and I was like, yes, I remember what that means. So at least
I would say it's more like only dancing, okay? No more than dancing, like just dance.
I mean, you burst my bubble a bit there, but you know what I mean. But I'll take it. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on the show today. It's been a pleasure, and yeah, hopefully.
And for me, thank you so much for inviting me.
And hopefully, when you're back in Manchester, we can get you actually in the studio as well. That'll be really good.
For sure.
Sure. So, on that note, do you want to introduce the final track?
Yeah, this is Solo Bailar by Nico Miseria and Femme Fatene. Hope you like it. Dance if you can.
Thanks a lot. See you.